every morning Mama would get up and cook breakfast because Daddy had to go to work. Daddy had to be to work around about 7 o'clock, and Mama would get up, cook breakfast, which was contain of grits and whatever we had the night before. She would have some of that for the next morning too for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but if we didn't have that, she would cook whatever we had. If it was fish or liver or whatever
Mm-hmm.
we would have that for breakfast also. And then around about for lunch we had breakfast and lunch.
Mm-hmm.
For lunch, Mama would cook lunch, fix a lunch there, and something right kind of easy at that time. And she would bag it up or pack it up and send us to take it to Daddy for lunch. I was the one that me or little baby would walk down and take Daddy his lunch for on the job. And then and after that we always wish Daddy, and Daddy always leaves something for us into the into his plate for me to have something to eat, on our way back, or if we're going to sit right there and eat it with him, we could have done that. And then then for dinner, Mama cooked dinner. We had dinner so around about 5 o'clock that evening.
Mm-hmm.
And that would contain with rice and beans, mostly beans, collard greens, and but we had garden, Daddy. We always had plenty vegetable in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
And Mama would always have something at the garden, and with some kind of meat. It could be pig feet or chicken or whatever, something, some kind of meat that would go along with it. And then the next morning, same thing again. And then every morning on Sunday morning, Daddy would get us all up out of the bed around about between 6 and 7 o'clock, and had prayers. We had to get down every Sunday morning and pray. Yeah. And then after that, after we got finished praying, we got to wash up. If we didn't wash up that night, we wash up that Sunday morning, get ready, and go to church. We would go to Sunday school early that Sunday morning,
Mm-hmm.
and then we would stay there for morning service. And then after morning service, we would go home for dinner. Mom would always cook dinner. She used to do most of her cooking at that time on Saturday night, because she didn't believe in cooking on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then after dinner on Sunday, then we would go back to this. We had another church program that used to call HYPU, that was mostly for the young people. But now I forgot that Sunday morning is Sunday school, and then morning service.
Okay.
And then after morning service, that's when we go home for dinner,
Mm-hmm.
for lunch rather, or dinner, whatever. And then we would go back later on that evening for what you call HYPU.
Wow, so y'all in church all day.
HYPU, and that night for service.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to love service, so because they used to have, some fiery good time there.
Yeah.
You just want to go, because they be singing and people shouting and going, just have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and preaching, and then and after that they have an altar call, and when that preacher start inviting you to come to the altar, and the way how he was painted hell, you were so scared you'd be having to go down to get saved. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they tell you how hell is a fire that burns all the time, and it consists of worms, and the worms never get to finish eating your body.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, they describe hell in a very drastic way.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that's the day for that. And then
So did you when you were young, did you actually like being in church?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 'cause I was younger. Yeah, we all, and I had my little girlfriend, we all used to love to go to church.
Mhm.
And at that time, we didn't have any air conditioner.
Mhm.
We might have had a little fan sitting here and there
Mhm.
in the auditorium, and then and they would have the window up, and in the summertime they have the windows up, and then we might be kind of late getting there, and service already start. Me and Ethel and Elzine and Ida, we were good friends at that time, little young people, and then and when we on our way, and we could hear them start singing, church already start, and we would take off for a run. We would go running, trying to get to the church because the windows was up because it was so hot, to get air. And so that's that, and
So the house down south, that you were a baby when that house was bought, or did you guys?
Oh, no, that was because the house that we were raised in, we none of us was baby, and we don't remember.
Oh, so that wasn't the house.
No, that's not the house that we were.
How old were you when you guys moved to that house?
Oh, goodness. I can't hardly remember.
Can't remember that.
But I was young. Well, anyway, that was the time we were going to church. At that time, I was about 10 or 11 or even 10 or 11, at that time. And then we grew up in there to about the 13 or 14 in that and so, yeah, and when they used to have the convention or either having a big service, the sisters and the mother of the church used to cook a big dinner. I would have chicken, macaroni and cheese, and collard greens, and sweet potato pie, and cake. We used to have a great big old picnic, and then we used to put it serve it outside because the church wasn't large enough for a whole congregation to get in and eat like that. They put a table on outside and put the chairs out there, and we would eat that. We would eat out there. And oh God, it was just, that's the church about that now. Until the convention time come too, we used to love to each year mostly have the convention in another state, and we would get somebody. Just a few of us had cars during that time. My daddy never had a car, but our pastor, he had a car, and another family member had a car, and we would get in these cars as much as they get in that one, and we would go to the convention, and the convention was so nice. We used to have we enjoyed going to church. That's where we get on. We didn't have no like going to the
going out to eat.
No, we couldn't go out to eat. We couldn't go nowhere and eat at that time. People would have mothers and other sisters would cook something and bring it to the church, even for the pastor. And sometimes, some Sundays, each pastor would be go out to a member house to eat. And my mother used to love to come to my mother's house to eat because Mama was a good cook. Yeah, and so.
Did y'all like when the pastor came to the house?
But we like it pretty good. We didn't like it too much because regardless of what, they always feed the pastor before the children. And we didn't like that because we used to be so angry. Like the pastor always pick out the best part of the chicken, and eat just about all of it. But we thought, but Mama always had something back in the kitchen for the children. We had to stand to the table. We had flies, and then down there was a whole lot of flies. We had to stand at the table and keep the fly off the table from the pastor's food, fanning the flies, and all like that.
That sounds like something out of a movie.
No, that was for real. That's what we did for real. Yeah. And whenever we ate, that food was blessed every time.
So why couldn't y'all go out after church? It wasn't part of the tradition, or it was just too many of y'all?
No, it wasn't too many of us, but it just, we didn't really want to go. we didn't really want to go out till we got a little older. You know, other children going out, and we wonder why can't we go? And Daddy said, well, you're dead now. You ain't going, no, you never would let us go. And I mean, it's because we were the only one. There's a whole lot more people that belongs to the church. But there are other children, other families that the children didn't keep the children in church like we were kept in church. And so, what else? But as we got older, I know one time, this movies was out called what's the name of the movie? But everybody at school, everybody talking about they at the school, they just talking about how good that movie is, and we want to see it so bad. And so what happened? Me and Ethel and Elsie, we decided we gonna sneak away and go. But in the meantime, when near Easter time, and we had a part in the program that evening for service, and we went and forgot the time, and we stayed too long. When we got back from the movies, the church was over.
Oh, my
It was already out. And I'm telling you the truth. And we were so scared. We didn't know what to tell Daddy, and after them didn't know what to tell their mother. And anyway, we make up some kind of lie. Yeah,
so what'd your dad say?
Huh?
What did your dad say? Was he upset?
Oh yeah, 'cause we had special part in the program. You know how you have to play. You know, have a little play. Yeah, and yeah, they were upset. Not only Daddy, other the members in the church too. Because Ethel and their mother, they belonged to the same church we did. So anyway, it was a mess. So we didn't try that no more.
Of all days, you go and sneak out to see a movie.
Yeah, a movie. But it's it was a movie. It was very. We didn't know it because we went to see. We still didn't understand what it was all about. We just want to go because they were talking. Everybody around the school talking about it, you know, and everything. But we didn't know what was really happening. Yeah, and so, yeah, and the only place we would go, we thought it was like outings, a place near, not too far from our home, called Brook Green Garden. It was beautiful. And Lord, when we go to my Sunday school, certain time of the year, they would take the Sunday school children to Brook Green Garden. And it was really nice. And I know one time, Ida and Mina, they already had that Friday, had that make up their lunch and everything, had their little dress, what they going to wear that Saturday, go to Brook Green Garden. And they were all getting ready. And so they had an argument. They were arguing something among them. And Dad didn't say a word. And so that Saturday, they are, time for the bus to come to pick them up, take them to Brook Green Garden, and they're getting ready. That's where we all going. So they said, Brook Green Garden. They said, no, you ain't going nowhere. They're now. And they were so mad and hurted. They were hurted. Yeah, you ain't going nowhere. You there right now. Because they were arguing and going on about it, you know, about something. And that was that's what Daddy, and so, I guess what you call it. Anyway, they had to pay by not going to that Brook Green Garden that time.
That is funny.
Yeah. And
so you said Daddy, your father had a garden.
Oh yeah, Daddy had garden. Oh yeah, we had collard greens, sweet potatoes, corn, collard greens, cabbage. We even had garlic, peanuts, and I said corn and a corn, and butter beans. It was a butter beans used to call a speckle. Have you ever seen speckled butter beans? It's beautiful. It's butter beans with a speckle, you know. And then Dad used to plant that. And then what else did Daddy have? Daddy had some of everything. One time we even had sugar cane. He had planted a hill or two of sugar cane, you know, and
String
tomatoes.
beans.
Huh?
They have string beans.
Yeah, oh yeah, string beans and butter beans, string beans and peas. We had some of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Cause Daddy had, I mean, he grow beautiful garden and he worked that garden. He would get up early in the morning and do what needed to be done to that garden. Then he would go out to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the evening when he'd get off from work, he'd go after he'd come home, he would go into that garden and do what needed to be done in that garden.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, his daddy had a beautiful garden. And his yard, he planted his flowers and did his flowers himself. He would never let us bother with the flowers, but he just figured we couldn't do the suit here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, and we got baptized. When we got saved, we got baptized. We had to walk to. We got baptized in a trestle. You know what a trestle is?
No, what's that?
It's something like a little. We had to walk. I don't know how far we had to walk to go down the railroad track to go to the trestle.
Mm-hmm.
Because the train used to run right close by the trestle. And that's why I call it trestle. I guess that's where the train might be used to stop and get water. I don't know what
Okay.
happened. And then yeah, and we all got baptized in the trestle.
Is it something like a container, or was it a regular?
No, it's a big, what you call it,
Like
no,
a lake?
yeah, like a lake.
Okay.
Like more like a lake.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. We go down there again, and then that was another place where we go now, right there in that area. But we used to like to go to catch the crawfish. And sometimes we go over there, and in the weekday and go out there and catch the crawfish.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, what else? What else?
Well, what would you say to the young people today, like our family members, as far as like what they should do to live a good life and a long life?
A good life and a long life.
Yep.
Well, they should obey their parents.
Mm.
I think with the version about children obey your parents, that your life, how you say it now, that you might have a long life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Obey your mother and father,
Your that's good as
or
I
your
know.
father and your mother.
Your father and your mother, that your life will be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
Yes.
Yep, that's what you do there, and always obey your parents. Because I tell you one thing, Daddy, you didn't disobey Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
If you do, the Daddy used to make whips. He would get hide and cut it into strips,
Mm-hmm.
and then he used to. And I used to be the man when I help him plaiting. He would do his plaiting, then I would do his plaiting,
Mm-hmm.
and going down the line, make beautiful whip. And then Daddy didn't play with, you didn't play with Daddy. And Mama, we had a loving, sweet Mama. Mama, she would take much, much more than Daddy. Like, kind of, oh, well, Mama, I don't want to do this. So, Mama, yeah, you're going to have to do that now. And she would kind of fuss like that. All right. And then you get to, he said, okay, I'm going to tell Daddy when he come home. And when she said she going to tell Daddy, we know how to shut up. Yeah. And, yeah.
Yeah.
What else now?
Well, that's good for today. That's exactly 20 minutes. I like when you tell me stories about when you were a kid and you had to get chickens and go fetch the chickens, and Mama would have to take the heads off and drain them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mama had a yard full of chickens. We had plenty of chickens. Yeah. And if Mama gonna cook the chicken if she want to cook the chicken for Sunday for dinner, she would catch that chicken like Monday, like the day of Monday, and would take that chicken and put it in a coop. We had all our chickens used to live in a coop. They'd be out in the yard, and in the daytime, but when the evening comes, they go into the coop, like they go into bed. And whenever, if she gonna have that chicken for that dinner for that Sunday, she would catch that chicken early in the week and put it in another place that she would put them in, and put them there all day long, all the week long, and feed them and put Epsom salts in the water to clean them out. And she would clean them out and get them all clean out, and then that Saturday, that Friday or Saturday, mostly be on a Saturday, she would get that chicken. She a little man would get that chicken and wring the neck, or either little bit would put the chicken and cut the head off like that with the axe. We had an axe, and threw it out and let it flutter until it dies. Yeah, and then she would get it and get the real hot water and pour it on it, and you pick the feather all off of it.
That's a lot of work, taking the feathers off.
And then get it clean out real good, and get that all clean out, and then Mama get it all clean up and wash it real good and cut it up. And the one time Mama used to cook on Saturday, but then she got back in the habit of cooking again on Sunday morning real early before she go to church. And cut it out and season it so it'll be all right, just right for the next day. Fry it or bake it, whatever, either boil, whatever she's going to do with it. Yeah. And have a big old pot of greens with some neck bone or some kind of pork. And
did y'all have pigs?
Yeah, we had a pig. Daddy used to kill a pig every winter, every fall, and coming. Might be a little later than now because it's a little bit more cooler than what it is now. And he would get that pig and kill it, and then I'd like to be around when they kill a pig. He used to scream. The pig used to scream and all that stuff. And he would take it, and then he would take it and clean it, take all the thing off of it, and then cut it up and clean it, get all the inside out of it. And they would get the liver out, the heart out, the kidneys out, all what you can eat. You would get that all out, and put it. Mama would got something to put it all that in, and then they should get the inside out, and then she would clean it, and she would clean it up by taking it, and I forgot what she used to call it, but she kind of some way she used to do it, and then get all that inside of it out, and wash it out real good. Yeah, and then Daddy would cut it up, and she would season it down. Sometimes we put smoke, what you call it?
Smoke it.
But the kind of the thing that
to preserve it. To preserve it.
Yeah, but we used to call it what you call it, oh my. But then we had a barn too. Daddy would hang it up in the barn and let it, get cured like that. Yeah. He would go in there and they would get ready for meat. You got the meat already in there. You go and get what you want, cut off what you want.
So it would kind of sit there and age and like dry out?
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't eat it right then. They don't eat it right.
Right.
As you kill it, as soon as you kill it, you let it, they used to call it ripen. Do something, some kind of word they used to call it. Yeah, and so stack with that pork. And then Daddy would do the head, and we used to make hog head cheese out of it, and we used to eat the foot. Daddy would used to eat intestine too. Daddy, the hog maw that we used to eat that, and when we were children, and when the pretty moonlit nights, Mama, and we had no TV like we got now, and TV and what you call it, the telephone, and we would, when they got the next door neighbor might come to visit. We had a porch. We had a porch, big long porch, and Mama and them would sit on the porch and talk. Mama and Daddy and the neighbors, they would sit on the porch and talk, and they didn't allow children to be in their conversation talking.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't sit up there and listen at them like children doing now. No way. So they would let us. So me and Bubba, me and Little Bit and somebody, we had up under our house. You could, it was sitting up on bricks. You did not flat like these houses here now.
Mm-hmm.
We could get up on it there, and we would crawl up from the back all the way up to get up under that porch so we could hear them talking. Yeah, and we would listen at them talking. That was. And we would, be like quiet on it there. They don't know we on it there, but we don't hear as much as we want to hear them. We would go back over on the back side of the house and come from under the house. And then my cousin Bubba, it was a store nearby us, and Bubba would go and get cheese and peanut butter. And we would get that up, get up out of the house and eat the cheese, because he would go and get on their mother, on their credit, credit from the same store. And we would get that, and we'd get up out of there and eat that up. Oh God, what else did we used to do?
Oh, I wonder how he figured out he could get it without his mother's permission.
Well, I tell you one thing, and I do it one time too.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I did it more than one time. It was one time I got caught. I was looking over there. There ain't no fire. There ain't no light in that house over there. On the down very low part.
No. That's just the reflection off the back of a car.
Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm.
I was seeing what if there ain't no fire, because there ain't nobody in that house. And so
you say you did it once before?
yeah, Mama, I did it more than once, but I got caught. Yeah, it was a little store not right. We just walk out. You're not too far from our house. And Daddy, Mama had a little credit there, and they want something to do in the week time, and we go over there and get it. Little Mama want for the house, And then when Daddy get paid on a Saturday, they used to go out there and pay it, pay the bill. And so this time, I went out there and I got all this candy and and cookies.
Goodness.
Yeah, and but Mama she never used to go out there. Once they send money us out there, and they send out how much it owed. When Daddy would just go out there and pay it. But this time, Mama went out there, and Mama said, "I know I didn't get that much. I didn't owe them that much. And they went out. She went out there." And they told her whatever I was getting out there with the candy and the cookies. And she come back, and I was so scared. When I see Mama coming in, I was so scared. I went and I put on me more clothes, and I had a backside all pad with stuff and everything like that. And then Mama come and I see Mama stop to the wood yard. We had a wood yard with a bit of wood, was a wood that we used to cut. Daddy used to cut it, bring wood into the house. And Mama got the switch off. And I'm looking out the window to see what Mama doing. And girl, my heart went in my mouth. I said, oh Lord, my mama gonna whip me. But I got myself pretty well prepared for the whipping. And then when mama come in the house, she said, Louise, you went out there and you got candy on the bill. I know I didn't know that man that much money. And you went out there and I said, oh mama, please don't whip me. And girl, and I hollered and cried so much. I said, mama, please don't whip me, mama. And mama, but she didn't whip me. And I was surprised that she didn't whip me. After I begged and cried so much, she didn't whip me. And so, yeah,
You
so
learned your lesson.
Yep, I really did. I didn't realize they'd do that no more. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. So, so the person who owned that store, were they white or were they Caucasian or were they African American?
No, they were Caucasian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and oh yeah. And the speckled butter beans, like I told you, what Daddy used to plant, and he used to take it and pick it in the evening time. We go and pick it, pick it off the bushes, and then we shell it, and then in the morning early, send me and Lil Ben out there to sell it. Lil Ben had a little pull wagon, pull his wagon, and I would be the one to push it in the back. I'm pushing a little bit pulling it. And we go to different white people, and they used to be happy to have. They loved those speckled butter beans.
Oh wow!
And my daddy could get all measure up by the quart to see how much quart it is and all like that. And we would go out there and sell it like that. But we would always bring the money back because Daddy knew how much quart we had. And I know one time Bubba went with us, and somebody had a field of corn, corn growing on the stalk, And Bubba went in there and break some of the people's corn and bring it out and sell it.
Oh my goodness!
I was so scared.
It was something else, huh?
Bubba was my first cousin. That was my aunt's son. Robert B. Cautious, Bubba. Yeah. And Bubba went in there and break them people corn out the field. They used to go real early in the morning.
Whatever happened to Bubba?
Bubba passed away. He died. Oh goodness, I don't know. No.
But he stayed in South Carolina?
No, he had moved up to, after he got married, and he and his wife didn't get along so good because he was in service, and he brought her home, and his wife brought him home right next to her mother, right next door to her mother, and she had some sisters very honoring, and anyway, Bubba and Ellen just couldn't get along after he got discharged from the army and went home to live with his wife Ellen, and because she had some sisters, they were just honoring. They were just, anyway, they separated. But he came here to Maryland, and this is where he died. But she and her son came up here, and when he passed away.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that was that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever that's when your granddaddy got sick and Margaret and them coming, got us from here. Let me see. Was we living here when we wasn't living here when we leave from here, when we living in Maryland.
When? About what?
When you were a baby, so you wouldn't know.
What were you talking about?
When we moved here.
No, I was gonna say you still couldn't walk over.
Yeah. I thought you had because you went but you had Daddy down south in Georgetown. You were staying at Prospect.
Yeah.
And then you went back to Mama's house because you didn't want to have the baby there.
I didn't want to have a.
So I think y'all was living with
Your
Belzor
yeah,
at the time.
Grandmother Belzor.
with him,
Mhm.
and then y'all ended
And I
up
was
up here
pregnant.
from there.
Yeah, when I just at that time I only had he and Ulysses,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a letter. You know, it's half raggedy now, but with Ulysses, I write me about you. Big Daddy had write me when Ulysses used to call Bernard Buzzer when he was a
What do
baby.
you call him, Buzzer?
Uh-huh.
They always give me all the tickets.
Yeah, 'cause me and Bernard, but
I was crying all the time.
oh, that boy used to cry all the time. Your grandma used to. I'd get up at night to get Bernard. He crying.
This is the crybaby.
Yeah,
Nicola, you ever watch Dr. Purple Pop?
Oh no, I can't watch that.
Take Bernard, and she said, Louise, give me Bernard, and she would take him and shake him and walk him some, you know. And I'm telling you, I had to shake him and walk him some. And that boy cried the whole time after he moved to Maryland. Then I took him to the doctors, and he didn't cry. And the doctor told me he wants to give me some food for him, what kind of food to feed him, and he ain't cried since.
So after you got the food, he stopped crying?
Yeah, we start feeding him, you know.
Uh-huh.
We start feeding him, yeah.
Who was the tallest? Was Daddy the tallest?
He used to be this much taller.
Yeah, he was the tallest. He was the tallest out of all of them.
All of everyone. Even Uncle Larry?
Not no more.
Oh, no,
Larry was a little taller?
Bernard done shrunk about that much.
Oh, I know.
Larry was a little. Larry was a
Oh,
little.
no, it's
Put
not.
an arch in my back.
It's, when you get he's still short. Don't let that be in.
Yeah.
So Uncle Larry was a little taller than Daddy, right?
Bruno, which one of y'all fall at the car when we was going that Saturday, Sunday evening?
Go out the car.
Your daddy used to take
No,
us
it wasn't
to
like
Mary.
You fell out.
I don't know.
I think it was with Derek, I think.
I know Tasha fell out the car.
He got hit
Me
by
and
a
Joe
I think it was Derek.
caught a
With
kid.
Martha.
And
My
the
goodness,
door
you
wasn't
got
shut. She
you
was
got
a
so
little
many
girl.
children till they falling out the car. Margaret.
She fell out the car too. No, we was hitchhiking.
We going to Mary. I used
Tasha
to
was a
love to
little
go to
girl,
Mary.
and the door wasn't shut. She fell out the car, but she didn't hurt herself at all. She didn't even
Let a
cry.
baby fall out the car. So
She
what
didn't-
happened? What happened? With
You-
Daddy?
That Sunday evening, we used to love to go to Mary. Mary kind of. Bernard, where Mary used to live out here
In
somewhere.
Fairfield.
In Fairfield.
Well, it's more like she lived further out than Fairfield. More like
We used to love to go to Mary on Saturday evening and
Mhm.
stay until Sunday evening. Me and Margaret and Katie and my two boys.
Mhm.
And so this Sunday evening we were going, and Bernard, Derek, he said when Derek fell out the car.
Well, how he fell out the car though?
We just driving along and don't tell you the door wasn't locked. The
my
door wasn't
goodness.
closed. But he just fallen when he didn't get hurt or nothing like that. So I'm glad he wasn't going.
So he
fast.
opened the door and he fell out.
Yeah, something
What?
somehow that's
That's scary. That was down south.
No, that happened right here in
Oh,
Maryland.
here, yeah.
Yeah, because we were on our way to go to Mary house.
Wow.
Yeah, and so, yep.
Won't come out.
We used to love to go to Mary house. Mary kind of used to like to live out into the county, in the county. Like, we had to go to the outside, go to the toilet.
Mhm.
And Mary always, she used to had some good food out there.
Mm.
But Lord, Mary was she was sleep. She just loved to go to sleep.
She loved to sleep.
Yeah, Mary, Margaret, and the dishes don't be washed till we go back out there the next week. Yeah, she had a nice home and everything. It was just her and George. That's all it was. But she was working. She working to the air base or somewhere. Yeah, and when Mary, Katie, and Margaret would get into that kitchen, they would clean that kitchen up real good. And after they get the kitchen clean, then Mary, she would get in there and cook. She would cook us a delicious dinner.
That is so funny.
Yeah. And yep. So we had some nice time. I'm telling you. I tell you that time with Derek. I told you I think that night when Derek, Went down McCullough Street naked. But got out the window. Out
Never
the window.
heard that one.
I don't need to tell you about that. Yeah. Well, in the evening time, I would, after we would bathe them and get them all in the bed, you know, they're sleeping and all like that. And Derek was in the crib, and Steve might have been on the little rollaway bed that and Bernard might have been in my bed. And so, that got them all in bed, that had their bath and in bed, sleeping. So me and Margaret, I think Bessie been up there with us by that time. Me and Margaret and anyway, somebody else, we got on the steps and sit out on the steps. And at that time, people used to sit on the front steps a whole lot during that time. And then we sitting out there talking, having a good time. And all of a sudden, the car, we live on McCullough Street, the car going up McCullough Street, stop all of a sudden. We said, oh my goodness. And one of Margaret's sister-in-law name was Margaret too. Margaret said, oh, that's one of Margaret. She was out there in that street without a car. I said, oh, I'm so glad the car didn't hit the baby, the child. And so we all got up and run going to see, because the car stopped and everybody seeing, you know, just what happened. And when we got out there, guess who it was? Derek.
Oh my goodness.
Derek, my child.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I went out through that window, and I walked down that dark alley, and all down Clendenin Street, and back out into McCullough Street. Derek, that was Derek. Just as naked as he wanted to be.
Oh my goodness. So how did he get out of the window?
The window is low.
Yeah.
And
he climbed out.
Yeah, so hot I leave the window up, you know, because there's air, you know. And that boy climbed out that window. It was very low. Derek wasn't no more about it. He was just a little baby, just walking good, you know.
Oh my goodness.
And honey, and Derek walked out that window just as naked as he wanted to be. Yeah.
I know you were scared.
Yes, we all were scared. And then after all was over with, he was fine. And we had a good laugh about it. And that was a scary time.
Now that's the first time I ever heard that story.
Really? Yeah.